Okay, I'm going to try and demonstrate the MatlabGrader. So you go to grader.mathworks.com, you create an account if you don't have one. This is a course that I taught about 2, maybe 3 years ago, where they were using MATLAB, and it was mechatronics. Over here on the left are all of the assignments that I've created. I'll show you how to create them later. But anyway, we'll just take a look at one of them. So I'm going to click here and open this up. And so there's one problem in this assignment called Blob Analysis. And the assignment, or the problem, is to compute blob data. If you want to add a problem to this assignment, then you can click here. Basically, it will grade all of the problems in each assignment. So all the way down here, you can see I have a number of assignments. Each one has a different number of problems or whatever. Okay, so this one only has one problem. So we'll take a look at it. We'll just click here. Okay, so here is the problem. I'm going to just close this window over here, get a little bit more room. Okay, so here's the assignment. While you're editing this, you want to have it set to draft. The students can't see it as long as it's a draft, and you can edit and do whatever you want to do. But once you are planning to assign it, then you would set it as a final. So whenever you open the problem up, it just kind of gives you a warning that what the thing is. When you're editing, you would be able to type in the title for the problem. And then in this box, here's the description and the instructions. So all of this would be seen by the students. I'll show you in a minute. They have a button that you can take a look at what it looks like to the students. But anyway, here's where you would put your assignment and anything else. In this particular case, there was some data that they needed to use, and so you can upload that data just by, when it's editing, you can add a file and you can add whatever files to this problem, and then this file is available to them to run their code. Here you would say whether they're supposed to submit a script or if they're supposed to submit a MATLAB function. Then when you scroll down here, the reference solution, this is my solution for the particular problem. They don't have to match this. They have to match the output, right? These things that are calculated have to be correct, but they can write their own code, and they will not see this. This is hidden from them. What they will see is the learner template. So here you can type in anything you want to show them. So for example, I like to start with the function just to make sure that they know what they're supposed to calculate and all that. So I show them this. Over here on the left, there's a little lock. If you lock this line, the students can't change it. Anything that's unlocked is maybe comments or whatever, and they can change anything that's unlocked. So the function call, I don't want them to change, and so I lock it up. So that's the learner template. That's what they will see, and then they will write their code into here. The best thing for them to do is to run MATLAB on their own computer, get it working, and then once they have it working, cut and paste into this window. So that's the easiest thing for them to do. Okay, so anyway, here's my solution, and this is how you calculate it, and whatever. Now, one thing that I did notice, which is kind of at least when I was using it, it was a pain in the neck because you couldn't do multiple files. So any subroutines or other functions that the main function has to call, you got to put them all in here. It gets a little tedious at times. Maybe they've changed that, but that's why all these functions. So that's kind of a pain in the neck, but but anyway, that's what you have to do. Okay, and then in this box, this is seen, or this is not seen by the students, but this is what will happen when this learner says, okay, here's my solution, and they click run. Then this script will run, and it calls the reference solution, calls their solution, and compares it. So this is the let me back up. This is, when they're testing it and they click run, this is what it's going to run, right? And I do believe they can see that, right? So they can see this. They can say, okay, you're going to load this and set a threshold. And this is editable. They can edit this and change it. So it's like an example so that they can run their code. And if it runs with this, it will run when they do the assessments. Okay, so here are the assessments, and the students will not see anything except what you show here. So this, their code is going to be run 4 times. They're going to do 4 tests, and what they see is that this one uses the given figure first. This one has an image that's different than the one they were given. See, so they could, if they're clever, they could use the figure I gave them in the mat file, and they could, look at it, do whatever, and figure out what the correct answer is, and then just, return that answer. But in test number 2, I'm going to give them a totally different figure or image, and they're going to have to, do that one. So it's just kind of a test. But the test number 1 allows them to see that, yeah, at least that image, and they can see what the image is, right? It was up there in the mat file up here that was given to them, right? So they can, they're going to use this one here for the first test. For the second test is different. For the third test, it uses a different image and a different threshold. So they're just going to be handed the threshold that's in the calling thing. And this one uses a different minimum and maximum on the code. Okay, so you as an instructor, you can open this up and you can see how they're going to be tested, right? So this is the code that runs when they say submit, right? They can run, and they can debug it. And then once it's debugged, they submit, and then it'll run these tests. So test number 1 is run with this code here. So what it does is it loads up the image, sets the threshold, and then it finds the blobs. This is their program. So it'll run their program, and it returns these values. Then it runs my solution, which is the reference solution. So you just say run the reference find blobs, and this is the correct answer. And then what you do is you just calculate, whatever number you want that says, okay, you're right, you're wrong, or whatever. And so here I'm just finding error, the difference between what they calculate, what I calculate, and so not a big deal. And then of course I allow for round off, things of that sort, and then I just say, assess the variable error, and if it's equal to 0, bingo, you got it right. And then, I never really use too much feedback. I just feel like it's a pain in the neck. Next time, if I teach this class, I'd probably, plug in some feedback here. Test number 2 is going to be similar to this one, but it's actually loading the same image. I guess I just told them. No, it's setting, anyway, it reads the image in, then it just modifies a few of the values. Okay, and then again, it just does their solution right here, and then it does my solution, then compares them. So it's really pretty simple. And then test 3, different image, different threshold. So the threshold is now 100, and then test 4, I don't remember what this one was, but anyway, so it's relatively easy. I'm going to pause it and then set it up in the editor, and you can also see what it looks like for the students. Okay, so anyway, this is the button I was looking for, and I was scrolling around, but you just click this and it sets it to the draft. If you want to see what the learner sees, then this button over here. So I'm going to just show that one. And so here's the this is what the student would see. And so here's the the title. Here's the instructions, and then here's their, the function that I'm giving them. And if you notice, they can't change this, right? If you try to edit it, it won't change. And then this was the stuff to call their function. So this, gives them, the idea is if it'll run when they say run, it will run when they do. Now they don't know whether it's right or not, because all this thing does is it calls their function. and so that they can tell if it's got bugs, but it doesn't do any comparison to the correct answer. And so then they can click here, and so they'll enter their answer right here. So cut and paste into there, and then they come over here and they say run it, and crashes. So then they'll come up here and fix it, and then run it, fix it, run it until they get it to work. And then when they say, aha, got it all, okay, then they'll hit this button, submit, and then it will take their code that they've got here, and it'll run the 4 tests, 1, 2, 3, 4 tests. And it comes back and gives them a green or a red, I think, and assigns points and all that. So they can see immediately that, oh, I got 2 of them right and screwed up 1 or whatever. So that's what the learner will see. Okay, so I'm going to pause and get back to the editing. Okay, I went back to the instructor view and I scrolled all the way to the bottom. And then this button, Validate Reference Solution, all it does is it just makes sure that your answer will in fact run. So that's all that does there. And then if you want to edit, then you set it to draft, and it warns you. It'll say, okay, yeah, this is not gonna, okay, so now it's a draft, and so now I can come up and edit whatever you want to. So you can change the title right there. You can change this guy. You can do whatever you want to. Switch this around. You can change the learner template, so you can make it, there's no lock there, so now they can change that, or you just click there and it locks it up. Here's, anyway, you just edit whatever you want. And then you can, like I said, go to the bottom, you say validate the answer, make sure that it works when you do it. You can allow a pretest so that they can, see, whether they like that or not. It allows them, for example, if you click here, it allows them to, before they actually submit it and get the grade, they can test it with the actual, checking, and it'll say, nope, didn't get it, nope, didn't get it, nope, didn't get it. And then when they finally get it right, then they can submit it. So, but usually I leave those unchecked. I figure, anyway, it's up to you to do that. Okay. And then when you're ready to give it to them, you just say save as final, and now it goes into the stuff that they can write. So that's pretty much what I know about it. Okay, one other thing I guess I'll show you. I opened up the contents thing again, right? You just click on this guy. It opens up. So if you these guys over here are called groups, and you get a grade for each group. And so if you want to add something over here, you just click on add group, and so it comes up and you name it whatever you want, right? Here's your save button, and then you add problems, bang, 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 bang. And then each problem opens up with that screen that I showed before. So if you scroll down here, see there's group 5 that we just added up here. You can either click here and add a problem, or you can click here and add a problem. And then of course save it, and everything is good. So that's how you add things to your thing. It's really not hard. The main problem is that you've got to write the code yourself to make sure that it works. And like I said, you can't you can't reference other files and subroutines and things like that. So anyway, all right, that's it.